Here we go. Let's get into the big question. How much further can this market go down? All right, so the first thing that you need to know in order to know if the market can go up or down is, well, how far has it run up in the last few years? Now, here's the question. In 2019, we started to see a big bubble start to occur. So from 2019, 2020, 2021, that's really the pandemic era. COVID started in 2019, and so 2019, 2020, 2021, we were in a lockdown period. That's when this big bubble occurred. Where are we compared to before the pandemic? And based on most research and data, we're around double where we were before the pandemic. The 1986 Fleer Michael Jordan rookie card, which I've talked about multiple times, that PSA 10 was worth around $40,000 before the pandemic, and now it's worth around $100,000. So that's double what it used to be worth. And so that's what you need to understand, that we're looking at a 2x multiple across the market for most cards. That means there's plenty of room to the downside. And I talked about this last week. If you haven't seen the show, go back. There's a whole playlist of this show, EDI Sports Show. Just because something's run up doesn't always mean it's got to come back down. But here's the caveat to that. We're heading into a recession. Now, I know a lot of you are probably like, wait a minute, that just went over my head. Recession, what does that mean? So a recession is when the entire economy starts to pull back. In other words, people don't have as much money in their pocket. And if you don't have money, you're not going to buy sports cards. And that is starting to happen right now. So here's my recommendation. Because unemployment right now in the United States is at 4.3%. Not bad. In fact, nothing to be alarmed about, nothing to panic about. The problem is that historically, when unemployment starts to tick up at a rapid pace, which means it was at 3.8% a couple months ago, last month it was at 4.1%, and now it's at 4.3%, which means that unemployment is really ramping up. And most estimates think that unemployment will get to 4.5% by next month. That means we're talking about massive layoffs across the economy. Okay, if the US market is going down, well, what about around the world? And this is where you need to pay attention. So the Chinese market has just crashed. The Japanese market is about to crash, and the rest of the world is now starting to fear recession because of the US economy. And that's why you need to start paying attention. So here's my recommendation. Start selling your cards. And the reason I'm saying start selling your cards is because if you sell them now, you'll cash in on the profits that you've already made. And if all of you want to keep saying that these cards are, investments, like all of these cards are investments, well, if they're investments, you need to sell and cash out your profits so that you can put the money in the bank. So you buy low and sell high. That's what an investment is. You buy low and sell high. If you don't sell now, you're not selling high. And so if you hold on to them for too long, they're going to go down. And then you're going to sell them when they're down. You need to sell your cards now. Take the profit, take the cash, put it in the bank, and then pick up the cards in a year from now when they're cheaper. And that's my recommendation. Sometimes you got to keep it simple. If you're not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. I'm here every Friday. It's EDI Sports Show. Have a great weekend.
There's only one show. There's only one show I wanna watch. EDI Sports Show every Friday.